Hi guys, so I'm trying out a new setup here. I got some new lights and I set up my camera a little differently. I'm actually using a real camera instead of my tablet. So I'm just really testing it out to see how everything looks. I'm going to try to stay in frame here because the camera is definitely much closer now. And we're going to make this real quick card. So I already have my card base made up. I have the mat already made up out of black paper. Card base is typical A2 size. The mat is cut to 5 1/4 by 4. So we have those right here. So we're just going to make this really simple background and little girl. The little girl stamp is actually an Impression Obsession stamp, and it came with these little butterflies, and I did cut the butterflies off so they're separate. But first we're going to make the background, which is like your starry night sky background. I am using Neenah Solar White, and I have a little post-it note stuck down. We're going to be using Distress inks in Chipped Sapphire, Black Soot, and Seedless Preserves. So I am going to start with the Chipped Sapphire. Start off the mat and then just kind of fill everything in. This is a great way to practice your blending skills as well, because if you don't like it, you just put more ink on and make it darker and darker and darker. That's why I like using the Neenah Solar White, because I think it blends pretty nicely. Bristol paper also does very well. Now I do have a little paper towel on the side here. You can see my fingers are kind of lifting up some of that ink in some areas. So you might want to have a paper towel handy. Alright, so that's the Chipped Sapphire. We're going to move into Seedless Preserves now. And I just kind of put this on in random spots. Okay. And now I'm going to go to the Black Soot. And I'm really going to focus this and concentrate this on the outside edges. Really making it black, like a night sky. So I'm really excited because next weekend is the Heirloom Rubber Stamps Rubber Stamping Show in Allentown, Pennsylvania. We are about an hour and a half outside of Harrisburg, about 45 minutes to an hour outside of Philadelphia. So if you can make the show, it's usually a pretty good show. It's Friday and Saturday. Parking is free. There's plenty of parking, but it's a really good event. I tend to stock up and make my shopping list of all of the things I need for the year and get them at this show. So hopefully you guys can make it there. Alright, so I think that's blended pretty well. Now I'm just going to take my Distress sprayer and spritz a couple spots on there. And let that set for a second, and then just dab up the extra ink there. The longer you let it sit, the more it's going to wick away, the whiter the spots are going to be. Okay, and then at this point you want to heat dry it, because if you try to do the embossing, which we're going to do with the little girl, it's going to stick everywhere. Alright, so we're going to emboss with some Hero Arts Black Embossing. I'm going to run my anti-powder static tool over the center here. And I have a little tidy tray here. And I'm going to stamp her out in some VersaFine Black Onyx ink. Make sure she's nice and black. And just towards the bottom there. I probably should have used a little pad of paper underneath, but that's okay. That's pretty good. Alright, so now we're going to take our little tidy tray and our Hero Arts black embossing powder, which I got out of one of the Hero Arts kits. Alright, and anywhere you have extra powder, just going to take that off. Pretty good. We're going to heat it back up. Not done yet. So over here I have some Copic opaque white just on a stamping block, and then I just have a little cup of water over here. I'm just going to wet my brush a little bit and kind of water that down some. We want it real watery. And then I'm just going to flick it off so it looks like stars. We're going to give that a second to dry. And then what you want to do is take your paper towel and just wipe off around the little girl, because you don't want those spots on her. Now, yes, you can do the Copic underneath. However, I did that on the first card I made, and when I did that, the embossing powder didn't stick to the Copics, so I had to go back in and re-emboss it. So it's up to you which one you want to do. You can just, if you miss any spots, you can just take a Versamarker and touch up the spots where it didn't emboss. And re-emboss it if you wanted to. So either way will work. And now we are just going to mount this. So you guys will have to tell me how the lighting looks, how the camera footage looks versus the way I did it before with my tablet and the other lights I had. I feel like the other lights were a little yellow and they would kind of flicker. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not, but it bothered me. And you guys know I work full time. I'm a single mom of 2 kids. I don't exactly have time to be editing and reshooting of stuff. I try to do it live so you guys know, hey, if I can make a card in 10 minutes or so, you guys can make a card in 10 minutes or so. And I want you guys to follow along with me and see all the mistakes I make. Now I'm just lifting the Post-it tape there. Now, I don't like how stark white that is, so I'm just taking my tool, my distress tool that had the black ink on it, and I'm very lightly just kind of dabbing it in there. Just kind of giving it a little bit of texture and color. There we go. Alright, so very easy card to make using the Impression Obsession little silhouette girl. The number on it is D13331 on that. Alright, so thanks guys. Please leave in the comments below what you think of this camera setup, what you think of the lighting. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, post that down in the comments. Thanks for watching and keep on stamping. Bye.